Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome back to more of the Shovel Knight playthrough. This is going to be the last challenge mode video of the project. We do have a bit of a long one here. I am going to try to get through all of the King Knight stages in this challenge mode video. And there are 27 of them, and some of them can be quite time consuming. Especially considering that there is actually going to be some Joustus in this challenge mode as well. So quite literally, King of Cards pulling out all the stops and basically showcasing pretty much any type of gameplay you could find in the main King of Cards storyline. So yeah, we have quite a bit to get through in this video, but this will be the last challenge mode video, and we will have another part of the Shovel Knight playthrough completed, and we'll have just really only one more mode to show off after we're done with this video, but I'll get into that when we get to that, so let's focus more on what we're actually doing right now. So first off, we have the Shovel Knight, or not Shovel Knight, the King Knight platforming stages. There's only 5 of these, and honestly, some of these are actually pretty cool. This one in particular, you have to kind of use the spinning top move throughout this entire stage, and honestly, like, it controls very well, and this was honestly a very fun one to start with. I was actually getting really excited about King of Cards challenge mode when I first did that stage, because it's like, okay, well, if this is a sign of what's to come, then I'm going to be pretty happy with this. It does get a little bit different, and especially once we get to the Joustus stages, you have to keep in mind there's only 5 platforming stages, so there's really not a whole lot here as far as platforming is concerned. In the second one, you have to use the roll move, and I found this one kind of awkward to do at first. Just because the roll move is not entirely accurate, I find. Sometimes I use the roll move, and sometimes I just straight up charge into the enemy instead of actually do the roll. And if you charge, you turn to the top, and then you break the floor below you, then you die, and you have to restart. So basically with the roll move, I find that the best way to do that is to just obviously don't do the roll too late. Make sure you're at least a decent distance away from the enemy before you activate it. And once you hit an enemy, and if the enemy has multiple hits, the thing you want to do there is just like mash the button afterwards. Like, you'll keep doing the roll move, and you won't have to worry about basically just doing a normal charge. That's kind of my advice for that second stage. I know we're already on the 3rd stage now, but again, I needed to say that and just kind of get that out of the way, because it is important, since I did have a little bit of trouble for that stage. This stage is not too hard, honestly. This one's, you have a lot of mana to work with, and the mana actually regenerates as well, so you're really not in any danger here. Just make sure you get all of the gems along the way, especially that gem right here. Because if you actually go further, I think it's almost impossible to actually make it back, so make sure you grab that before you go too far into the stage. But yeah, it's just a matter of collecting all the gems, and once you do, you're good to go, so you can watch King Knight drown, and then you can just move on to the next one. So next up we have Battery Bash. This is one of the this is one of the alternate costumes you can get for King Knight, and this one allows you to, with the charge move, you can actually dash upwards and downwards as well. So you have to kind of use that to basically get through this stage. Basically, one thing I like to do is, like, whenever you're making just a normal dash in one direction, charge up while you're making that dash, so you're ready for the next part, or you're ready for the next enemy, and just, you know, the next movement in general. Because kind of the problem I had was that I'd have to, like, keep, like, going backwards and doubling back to activate the charge move, and that could be kind of awkward. So it's better just to have the charge move kind of ready at all times, just so you're able to make all of the movements you need to make. But yeah, this one's not too bad. Honestly, I think the platforming challenges were probably the most fun part of King Knight's challenge mode, which is kind of a shame because there's only 5 of them. The Joustus is whatever, it's Joustus. If you like Joustus, you'll like Joustus in the challenge mode as well. Don't really have much to say about that. The boss rematches, oh boy, those were a thing. I'll obviously get into those when we get to that point, not now, but I have a lot to say about those, that's for sure. So there we go. That's the fourth one done. Now we have the fifth one. The last platforming stage for every character is pretty much a, hey, beat this stage without taking a hit. And that's pretty much what we got here. This one, I think of these stages, this is probably the toughest one I found. Like, especially with that griffin right there. That griffin kind of just prevents you from moving forward, which is kind of annoying. But honestly, I don't think it's too bad. And also you have, like, wind you have to deal with as well. This is honestly probably the hardest room in this particular challenge, just because, well, you have to make it up here. You have to wait for him to blow wind, and also charge over that, and also avoid that fireball. It can be pretty tough. This is actually kind of a tough room too, actually. But I made it work. And we just have this. This is just honestly a test of patience. Just, you know, wait until you have an opening. Once you do, you're good to go. And that's pretty much it for the platforming challenges. So now we're going to move on to the Joustus part of the video. Oh boy, Joustus. And funnily enough, the Joustus for the challenge mode are it's basically all the opponents that we didn't actually play Joustus with. So the 3 Joustus judges, the Enchantress, and another very, very lovely special lady in our lives. So we'll see that a little bit later. This one's not too hard. Like, there's not a lot to say about this one. Like, it's literally just, okay, well, there's only 4 squares, so you can just kind of figure out what you need to do and win pretty easily. There's not really a whole lot you need to do for this one. See, I think that they... Yep, okay, I got it. All I had to do was basically just wait it out and try to stall and wait for my moment to snipe that up, like that, right there. So yeah, that's the first one, King PRIDEMOOR. Next up we have the TROUPPLE King. I had a really hard time with this one. This is why I'm thankful that I am just using my successful attempts for this one. I don't know what it is. Like, there's a lot of double arrows in this one, and it doesn't help that, like, both you and your opponent have the same exact cards. So, as a result, it's just a matter of, like, you almost have to kind of just get lucky that the TROUPPLE King just doesn't have a counter to whatever card you're using. Because I swear, this took me, like, up to, like, maybe 10 or 11 attempts. I don't even know how many exactly, but it took me a really long time to get this one. I felt pretty good about this attempt, though, when that happened, when he actually pushed my other card onto the onto the space there. It's like, oh my god, I might actually get this. But I was still being wary, because again, he just kept seeming to, like, just flawlessly bring out exactly what he needed. So, yeah, you really have to be careful in this. So right there, he took that, but thankfully, I just, you know what? I'm not going for a gem sweep or anything. Let's just end it. Let's just finish off this opponent and move on. And that's exactly what I did, so. Beat the TROUPPLE King. Next up, we have King Burger. This one isn't too bad. This is kind of a weird one because, like, as you can see, the board is diamond-shaped. So, you know, like, if there's a gem in one of those, like, little, like, I guess they're corners? It's hard to call them corners because, it's, like, you know, those singled out squares right now, like, those can be kind of awkward to get to because, if you try to set yourself up for trying to get one of those spaces, if, you know, your opponent actually puts a counter and moves your card out of the way and puts his there, there's not really a lot you can do about that, so you have to be kind of careful with how you play your cards in this one. But still, this one was still a lot easier than the previous one. I just was not a fan of the King TROUPPLE match. It was just a really rough one. For some reason, he keeps getting those hair covering the eyes kid cards. which don't seem to really be helping them too much. But at this point, I pretty much have a gem sweep. Literally nothing they can do about it right now. So, hooray. Take that, King Birder. So now that we beat all the Joustus judges, let's face a very special opponent. We have to face off against our mom. This match is actually pretty interesting. You both only get 3 cards. So you have to kind of end the match and end the match quickly in addition to obviously getting the gems you need. Which is honestly harder than you think it would be. I got kind of lucky here, if I have to admit. But in fact, she actually helped me out right there. But yeah, she basically put us in a position where the match couldn't continue, so I was able to take that one. And last but not least, we have the Enchantress. This one's interesting because you can't see her cards, so it's kind of a luck-based game because of that. Because obviously you can't see her cards, so you just have to kind of just hope she doesn't play anything that will mess you up or screw you over. But I think this only took me 1 try. I think I got lucky enough on the first go. And, like, quite literally, you have, like, so many good cards in this. A lot of changing color cards. You have a lot of just special effect cards. A lot of cards that have triple arrows. So, you know, you have a pretty stacked deck, I guess you could say. The thing is, though, your opponent, the Enchantress, also has that same stacked deck, so you can't use that too much to your advantage, but it is definitely there. I was kind of confused about this because I thought that when I'm not entirely sure how the death element works on, like, the Phantom Striker card. Like, I need to read that more carefully, because, like, I don't know what exactly, like, determines, like, what cards get blown up. It's kind of confusing. If someone wants to explain that in the comments, go ahead. I mean, I'm probably not going to be playing Joustus ever again, but still, I never could really use those cards effectively because I just never really knew, like, how you were supposed to use them, so it kind of messed with me a bit. So yeah, in my experience, try to save your triple arrows till late in the game, so you can kind of just, like, take any square you want. That's usually the way I play, and that usually works out pretty well for me. So that's kind of a strategy I use for those cards whenever I have them. But aside from that, this is just a pretty standard, like, just, you know, play until you eventually get it. Because, yeah, you can't really predict what your opponent's moves are going to be. The only knowledge you have is literally what cards she could have, because you share the same deck. It's just that you don't know what cards she currently has. Which does make this a little difficult, for sure, but, yeah. I see, like, right here, I was like, oh my god, I wish I could just end this right now and just have this be over, but unfortunately, had to kind of keep things going. Here I was like, no, I'm not going to destroy anything. Even if she takes one of my spaces, then, like, whatever. I've already claimed 2 other gems, and that's all that matters. Let's see, thankfully Shovel Knight helped me get the win right there. And we are done with Joustus. We never have to play another Joustus game ever again. I am pretty happy about that. But now we have probably the roughest part of the King Knight challenges, the rematches. There are so many rematches in this where you cannot use your charge move. This is not one of them, obviously, but oh my god, there are so many where you have to use, like, the items you're given or the abilities you're given. And, you know, it's kind of creative and kind of cool that they have challenges like that, but my god, it makes them difficult. It makes them so very difficult. So, yeah, this, like, getting all these challenges done, it took me a very long time. There were some fights that literally took me 20 minutes to half an hour to get completed properly. And honestly, the reason why this is so difficult is because, like, not just because of the restrictions, but, well, okay, the restriction of having low health, that's That's the most difficult aspect of this, because you do not have a lot of health. The time constraint can be a little annoying in some cases, but I found that usually, like, I think the time is mostly fair for the most part, as long as you just kind of get a feel for, like, how you can use the items that you've been given to fight the bosses in question. But it's again the health, because at least with the health, like, having a lot of health, you could actually kind of afford to get closer to some bosses and maybe spend more time, like, ripping the bosses apart, but you can't really do that in challenge mode because you don't have any health whatsoever, so it made this honestly really difficult. But you know, I definitely like that I was able to, you know, get through these at least once, and not only that, I also have me doing it on film, which is kind of cool. That's kind of the cool thing about doing Let's Plays, is that you have, like, video proof that you've beaten this game, or you've beaten this challenge. And that's like, really, really cool. And, like, I kind of like that aspect of doing Let's Plays. But also, just, you know, mainly to show off the games that I love and enjoy for you guys. That's the main reason I do Let's Plays. And it's also fun. It's also fun to provide insight and, you know, make some witty, bantering commentary sometimes. It's all good, it's all fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, this is the Big Creep. That's the boss's name, literally the Big Creep. Not like Ghost Knight or anything like that. Literally just the Big Creep. He's not too hard. Again, just a matter of tracking him down, using the light globes to damage him. You can actually get some nice combo potential on him too if you're lucky. But that's really all I have to say. There's really nothing too special about this boss. The only thing special about him is he just got wrecked. Can't believe he just got wrecked. And with that done, we're moving on to the next one, King PRIDEMOOR. I was actually surprised that we're already fighting King PRIDEMOOR here. But then I realized, like, you fight Spectre Knight towards the end of the game. And King Knight's the other early boss, so I guess it does make sense that King PRIDEMOOR is the first one. So yeah, for this one right here, you can't use the charge move. You can only use the relic. And it's, you know, it was kind of fun doing this one. Like, again, like, this is the kind of cool stuff that I like about the challenge mode, is that it kind of teaches you how to effectively use these items, and more than that, like, it almost seems like these items are, like, more capable of destroying these bosses than the actual, like, just normal charge move. It's really cool, some of the stuff you can do with these items, seriously, and it's not really something you really notice as you're going through the game unless you experiment, and honestly, I think the game is already fun to play without the items, so it's kind of cool that you have, like, some of these, like, other items to use, and it honestly does make the challenge, like, a lot more fun, too. And see, right here, again, this is another one where you can't use the charge move. You can only use whatever relic you're given, and this one you have to be a little careful because, like, it doesn't use a lot of mana, but, and this is a big but, big butt. I'm sorry. The big but is, if you run out of mana while you're fighting Percy, you're not going to get that mana back, so you have to make sure you finish off Percy before you get to Plague Knight. And I think it's kind of the same thing for Plague Knight as well. Like, you do have the limit of how much mana you have. You can't just, you won't get a refill, so you literally have to destroy them with what you have. So don't go too crazy with it. Like, I'm obviously trying to be a little conservative, but, you know, when I think I can get a couple of hits in, I definitely go for it, because I feel like you kind of need to, you know, get those hits in. And I got kind of lucky right there, because I would have, if I waited like one more second, I would have been exploded by that bomb. So I got kind of lucky there, but hey, not complaining. We got it done. Next up we have Treasure Knight. Once again, I think you can only use the hammer here. You can't use the charge move. So again, like, they've made like a couple of challenges where you just can only use the items, and I think that's honestly really cool. Like, I found this hammer to be pretty effective because you get health whenever you use it, so sometimes you get 2 health even too, so you can like make up the difference if you feel like you're getting kind of too bodied by the enemy in question. I don't have too much to say though. And as you can see, like, I am sometimes getting some vigor back whenever I hit the enemy. I don't know what exactly, like, determines that. I think it's just every few hits you get a little bit back, maybe. That's what it seemed like anyway. Or maybe that's just the bubbles. Maybe that wasn't vigor. I don't know. It looked like I was getting vigor back anyway. It could have been just the bubbles that looked like vigor bubbles. Okay, so next up we have Mole Knight. I think we do have the charge for this one, so you know, going back to Old Faithful, but that's okay. I kind of went on a giant rolling spree in this this particular battle. I feel like you kind of need to go like a little bit fast in this. They seem to give you like it seems to like not give you a lot of time for all of the Mole Knight rematches. I got kind of lucky there that I got a nice little double roll hit there. So I believe that's the second set of the order. So now we have, yep, we have the TROUPPLE King. This one actually kind of scared me, but to be honest, like, after like a couple of attempts, man, the item that you get for this is really freaking cool, and you can get some really, really nice hits on the TROUPPLE King here. I accidentally paused right there because I was freaking out, but I noticed how much health he had, and I was like, oh my god, I just need to get one more hit, and there it is. But yeah, honestly, that one's not as hard as you think it would be. Like, and that's a pretty hard match, like, just casually. So yeah, honestly, just having the right tools can honestly make some matches pretty interesting and kind of fun, actually. So next up we have Tinker Knight. You're given the Great Aether, as I like to call it. Ike's up special. Oh, the Great Aether is the final smash, but the regular Aether. You're given that. It can be kind of helpful during the next phase. Here, not so much. Actually, I don't know. It can be kind of helpful, I guess. I mostly used it to get on top of the drill here. I got kind of lucky that I got one more hit there, so he was able to move back to where he was, and then I got to go back here very quickly. I was really worried about the time, but after that nice little combo, I felt pretty comfortable. And I used a couple of Aether swings, a couple of bounces, and there we go. I was trying to land in that hole, but I didn't quite make it. That's the thing, though. As long as you get the boss killed, it doesn't matter if like you fall off screen or anything. You'll still get the credit for it, which I think is kind of nice. They could have been mean and still killed you, so it's good that they didn't. So the toughest thing about Propeller Knight, I mean, this is a pretty easy fight, but you're not given a lot of time for it. So you kind of need to lock him down and get those hits in as soon as possible. And he tries to run away, too, which is pretty obnoxious. I got kind of nervous right here because he ran away. Had less than 10 seconds left. But then he actually kind of helped me by bringing him over with that wind, so that was kind of cool. And there I go. Oh no, I didn't fall in the pit, so there's apparently a plane under me. Oh well. We'll just assume it scrolled down all the way. So Polar Knight, this one was actually a bit easier, and like, again, this is one where it's like, the time limit will scare you, but when you realize what you have at your disposal, you can really get a lot of good hits in. Because yeah, that's the move that you can kind of use as a counterattack. And see, here I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to get some hits in before he does too much, and yeah, that's honestly how I did that. Just like, well, time's ticking, but I can prevent him from moving if I just get some hits in very quickly and keep him in that counterattack phase, and that kind of helped me lock him down and finish that off pretty quickly. Mr. Hat! This one took me, like I said earlier, this one took me about a half an hour to get, because you essentially have to get through 2 phases here. And his hitbox is very, very awkward. When I say hitbox, I mean like from being able to damage him and then getting damaged yourself. There's not really a lot of leeway there. And he also kind of picks like very weird instances to go into the second phase. And when he gets into the second phase, obviously he gets his health back, which is annoying. See, here I was getting like really nervous because he also has like this he also has the move where he like rides a horse. Normally he does that before he brings out the red carpet, but here he did the carpet first, which really threw me off. But thankfully, like, I looked at his health and I'm like, I can finish this. I just need to get lucky, and yep, there we go. But yeah, that one took me a very long time to get right. You don't have a lot of health, and his attacks can be kind of awkward to dodge. Spectre Knight, on the other hand, this one is not hard at all. This one's actually kind of cool because you have the screen nuke move, and honestly, I found that really messes him up. Like, sometimes when he's like flying around, like later in the fight, like he'll just randomly get hit by stuff like a couple of times. And it can be pretty nice. Like, I got like 3 hits on him just from that, and then I kind of comboed him right there too, which was kind of nice. So yeah, this one's not too hard. It's 2 phases, but it's pretty, I think it's pretty fair. They give you a lot of time for it too, which is nice. Let's see, the confetti. Oh man, the confetti really got him right there. It got like 4 or 5 hits, and then I was able to just block him down and get the last hit on him, so that was a nice finish. We're actually in the last 4 fights. So here we have King Birder. This one you have no time limit, which is kind of nice. Honestly, this one's just not really that hard of a fight. I'm pretty close to vanilla, like pretty close to what you normally have to deal with. Just again with less health, and that's really the only challenge. The one annoying thing about this is that he randomly heals. I don't really know what the trigger is for that. He just randomly does it sometimes. Yeah, obviously be careful of getting smashed. I kind of made a priority, like if it ever looked like I was about to get smashed, I'd dash into something else to take damage from that. And that would not take the damage from the crushing, so you can use that as kind of a way to be careful, I guess. And, okay, there, got kind of lucky right there. But yeah, it gets really obnoxious how late in the fight that he just starts healing all the time, and like, it's like, come on, he only had like 2 health left. Now, why does he have like 6 again? It's really frustrating. The Enchantress, this is another one that's really not too bad. You get a lot of time for this one too. You have the Bomb Rat, which is not really a good power-up, but it actually works pretty well here because she spends so much of the time in the air, so you can just use that and attack her with it, and it's kind of funny how like effective this is. But yeah, this is honestly like a pretty easy fight. Just gotta kind of take advantage of whenever she's above ground, because whenever she goes below ground, obviously you have to kind of wait for things to progress back to normal. I got kind of worried right there. So I'm like, okay, let me take it easy. Oh, wow. I forgot that that's how the fight actually ended. I was in a rough spot, so I'm like, okay, Bomb Rat, don't fail me now. And it didn't, so I was pretty happy about that. Okay, here we go. The final bosses. First we have the Grand Triumvirate. This is the final boss of King of Cards. This, in my opinion, is the worst boss in the entire game. I do not like this boss. The hitboxes are just so off. And, I don't know, it honestly reminds me of, like I think I made the joke about it being like Final Form Sigma in Mega Man X. But, like, it's a worse version of it. It's like Onyx in Oracle of Seasons, Legend of Zelda. And, that fight, I think, is, like, really, really bad in terms of, like, its mechanics and the hitboxes. This is really just as bad. I don't know if it's worse or not, but, like, oh, I hated doing this. I really hated doing this. And then, of course, once you beat the first phase, like, you have the second phase, which the second phase is easier. Let's get that right. The second phase is easier than the first phase. But still, just the fact that, like, there's nothing below you. If you fall, you die. And, you know, at the core of this in challenge mode, you have a time limit. It's just so easy to get, like, pressured by this. The pressure will definitely get to you. And see, I got really worried that I was going to miss that platform there. I got very lucky. And, there we go. That was another one that took me a really, really long time to get completed, because it's just... it's a rough fight. It's a very rough fight. But I was happy to get it done. And with that, we have one more challenge left, guys. Gigacardia, the special optional fight. This one, honestly, I don't think it's as bad as some of the others. You have to do this, like, I mean, you have no time limit, so you're basically just doing this with less health. And I don't think it's really that hard to not take damage in this fight as long as you're fast and you're quick about it. And as you can see, I found a strat where you could immediately get to the top of Cardia. And, oh my god, it works so well. I missed it right here, but if, like, you dash at just the right time, you'll actually hit the very bottom of one of the crystals. And you can actually get some hits in early before she even uses the orbs. And that's what really, really helped me in this fight, figuring that out. Because once I figured that out, this fight became, like, free. You might still take damage, but you also get health back whenever you get a few hits in, so it's not really nothing to worry about. See, I got kind of lucky right there. One more phase to go. I did kind of miss this, but thankfully... oh! Good job. Good job, me. And there we go. That's it for the King of Cards challenges. That's it for challenge mode. We are done, everybody. Thank you for watching all of this. I was honestly not expecting to get all of these done, but I went for it and I succeeded. And your reward for beating all the challenges, if you go back to the main menu screen at the top left, you have 4 little icons for each of the characters. Kind of a lame reward, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next time when we come back to Shovel Knight. we're going to be taking a look at Shovel Knight Showdown, the last mode of Shovel Knight, the last thing we're going to be doing in this playthrough. I'm not going to go too substantial into Showdown mode, but I am going to basically show you guys what it's like, some of the things you can expect, and might do a couple of videos, but not too many for it. There's not really a whole lot I really need to showcase from that, but that is what we're going to be doing next time, so hope you guys are ready for that. I will see you guys for that video, and until then, this has been SlimKirby. See you guys next time. Later, folks.